Hello, Lyric again. I wanted to read something that I wrote down for myself in hopes that it might make somebody else feel a little bit better. Um, this will either be the first or second video on the channel, depending on which one comes up. First, I don't really know what the entire theme of this channel is. I suppose I'll just record myself doing things in hopes that I can try to learn something new about myself this year. Anyway, I believe this video will be titled Identifying Love and Learning What Love Means to You, and that's what I wanted to talk about. Love is scary and it's rough and rigid, but it's also soft and comforting. Love is meaningless conversations and sitting in silence just as much as it's rooftop shouting confessions and serious discussions. Love is a dance. Love is also a wrestle. Love can be many things, take many forms. Love is a partner's kiss as well as a friend's hug. Love is a warm meal with family and a walk with your dog. Love is a hangout at 3 in the morning with friends. Love is also sitting on the phone and gossiping. It's gaming on a snow day or playing basketball in the park in the summertime. Love is complimenting a friend. Love is also acknowledging that you look good. Love can be many things. Learn to identify love in your life, in music, nature, friends, and partners. And I think love and all of those things and identifying love is an extremely big thing for me and a lot of people. I think there have been many times in my life where I couldn't identify the love that I did have, and it led me to feel alone. It led me to feel like no one loved me. But I think once you begin to understand how many different things can be love and just what love is to you, you can begin to feel some of that love and even share it to others. Understanding and identifying love is a long road, but you can start with the very small things. Like I said, love is seeing a song and that you like it. Love is going outside and taking a breath of fresh air and it reminding you of someone. Love is having a conversation with a friend and realizing just how much you guys are alike. Love can be any of those things. Love can be texting someone you haven't talked to a while and it felt like nothing ever changed. Love can be a tough conversation that you didn't want to have, but you know now that you've had it, everything is all right. I think identifying what type of love you have and the type of love you want from others are two very important things that I've had to learn myself. Learning that you don't need to have your love reciprocated for you to love. Now, I believe many teenagers, much like myself, we find ourselves in situations where we're on the internet or we're on TikTok, and it feels like there's so many opinions about what's right and wrong in a relationship. We see things such as moving on and no contact, or giving up on something that doesn't think about you, or even if it's not you, it's someone else, and if it's not someone else and it's just simply not you. Many of those things, I believe they're made in a way to, I wouldn't say fearmonger us into believing that we shouldn't love and we should have these rules and stipulations on them. But I believe these are people who love in their type of way and they're passing them out there. And that's why I think it's very important that everyone understand what love means to them. If you go on TikTok or YouTube or anything of that matter, and you try to find a video or anything, and the video's point is moving on, no contact, but that's not the type of person you are. You don't do that whole no contact thing. It's never worked for you. But you try it anyway, you're hurting yourself. You're making things harder for yourself. Everyone has a different way to love. Everyone has a different way to move on. And it's about identifying those feelings and identifying what they mean to you that we can begin to better express ourselves. I believe that TikTok is a very good way to get advice on situations in which you simply just don't know about. But I think everything you see on the internet, including this video, is a grain of salt. Take it with a grain of salt. Don't dive headfirst into these things. Don't tell yourself it worked for them, it'll work for me, because that isn't the case. Identifying the type of love you want, the type of love you have, the type of emotions you wish to display and convey towards others is extremely important. Personally, myself, I recently had to understand that I don't love people for the idea of them loving me back. I don't do it because I want them to love me back. I love people because I care. So, in turn, learning for me and what I'm continuing to learn is that my feelings don't need to be reciprocated for me to feel such. Now, is it as easy as that? No. Do I still at times wish my feelings were reciprocated? Absolutely. Does it make me sad when my feelings aren't reciprocated? Yes. But understanding that this is how I love and this is how it'll make me feel best is one step in a very long road that everyone and myself is much needed to walk. I also think it's very important that we try to understand and accept how other people wish to be loved. Now, a lot of the times in our generation, we'll find situations where it'll feel almost like, why didn't this work? This was the perfect thing. It should have worked. Everything on paper said it was going to work, so why didn't it? You can't love something how you want to love it and then just say, okay, cool. A situation I had in my own relationship, and one that my grandparents told me, you can't have someone who says, I want apples, and another person who says, I want oranges. One person says, okay, well, I have apples. The other person is saying, okay, well, I have oranges. These two people are never going to agree. So it's just like, you have to understand that you have to know how to love someone the way they want to be loved. You can't just force your love onto other people. You cannot force someone to love you. I think there's a lot of also, going around on TikTok about simply just the entire idea of us being too young to love or to settle down. That isn't true. Those videos you see on TikTok of our generation only cares about sneaky links and no contact and yada yada yada. That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. Don't believe everything you see on the internet. There are people, many people our age, completely capable of love, completely understanding of love, and they're learning just like you and I. So why trick yourself into feeling like no one will reciprocate your feelings? No one will feel how you feel. You need to shut these feelings in and be alone. That's not true. Understanding your feelings is something I think everyone should try. It's a long road. It's a scary road. But I think once you begin to understand your feelings, you can begin to understand yourself in a way you've never even understood or even bothered to care about before. And I think that's why I'm making this video, and I think that's why I decided to make this channel even in the first place. I want to learn how to know myself better. I want to know myself beyond just what people have taught me about me. I want to grow myself better so I can be better for others. And I think that's another crucial step that I'd like to touch on. Being honest about your growth. You can't look to grow and tell yourself you're growing for yourself if you're not just growing for you. Because you'll stunt your growth. You'll be it's like trying to run while looking sideways at the person next to you. You're not focused on you. You're going to trip. You're going to trip. You need to be honest about what you're running for. You have to be honest with yourself about what you wish to grow yourself for. Me personally, like I said, I want to grow myself this year, not just for myself, but for the people around me. I want to know myself better so that way the people around me can also know me better. I want to know what it's like to be me outside of just the lyric that exists in a relationship, the lyric that exists with family, the lyric that exists with friends. I want to know the lyric that exists when he's just lyric. And I think that's very important. I think it'll be a long one, and I'm excited to see where that takes me. But yeah, we're going to get really honest here. We're going to get really honest here, and we're going to be straight up. I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm not used to things being lyric by himself. I've been lyric by myself before, and it wasn't a good time. Maybe one day we'll do like a little story time. But I've been lyric by myself before, and it just wasn't it. I don't want to be lyric by myself anymore. And I think that's the sweet thing about it. I will never be lyric by myself again because I have all these friends and family. And once I begin to learn myself, I'll never be lyric by myself. I'll be lyric with lyric, essentially. Um, but yeah, I think it's very important to remember you're young. We're young. Plenty of life to live, plenty of love left. If it ever feels like it's over, it's not over. If it ever feels like you need to give up, don't give up. Even when it feels like there is no other way but to throw in the towel, never give up. Never stop fighting for what you believe in. Only you can bring yourself to your dreams. No one's going to carry you there, and time will certainly not wait for you to get there. So pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and keep moving towards your dreams. Keep moving towards what you care about. It's not a simple thing, but everyone has to learn eventually. I thank you for allowing me this time, to anyone who does choose to watch, and I hope to see more friendly faces here. Bye bye.